I don't want to be unfair and ask more of you than you're capable of doing. If you think you can't change and you can't just say, I'm going to stop doing that, then you got to get yourself some kind of alternative. But you do have to stop going to that place or places like that. And you do have to stop looking for your source of joy to come from something that is absolutely ailed and horrifically unable to deliver such to you. Okay? So you're going to have to start spending some of your time fathoming what you could do that could give some sense of fulfillment, not a lot, but some sense in the same venues and avenues of your mental capacity and your physical skills that are slightly different, that you can do on your own. Maybe you could do it with someone else, but you don't have to do it with someone else. Now, I realize you could already play pool on your own if you had your own pool table. I don't know if you do or not. I should ask to that. But again, just to take it away from that and make it into something else for just a little while you're working on these other things. It'll give you the sense that you're living a different life for a short period of time. And why are you doing it? Because you're going to be working on something that you're not normally working on. So just that sense in and of itself will remind you. Like when you're driving a new car, you say, I've got to remember, I'm really enjoying this experience, but I better drive carefully because I don't want to mess it up. So you need something to remind you, why are you living differently right now? You're living differently right now because you're working on something that you weren't working on before. So you need to have some visual reminders or some sensibilities in your life that you're working on so that you can constantly remind yourself that while you're working on it, this is why you're doing it. And then that will give you the freedom to do some of the changes that we need to be making. So that's one thing. And that's a big thing from what I'm reading. So let's talk about some of the other things that you're talking about. Oh yeah, the God and the children thing and all that stuff. Well, I think that video that I made was pretty self-explanatory. We don't want to get into things that we think we can know. As soon as we're into a realm of where we think we could know, we've already lost. So I can tell you're thinking about what I'm talking about, but you're also still inflicting your knowledge into it. You're not able to do that yet because as long as you still think, even in a fathoming way, that you know something, you're already still, even though you're about ready to exit the real world and go through that door, like in the White Room of the Matrix, you still haven't done it. You're reaching for the doorknob, but you can't open that door of choice because you're still saying, but what about? Okay, so what I'm talking about, even this thing I was talking about with God, and that you cannot be sure that you have any responsibility for anything, then you say, yeah, but if it's not my fault, I can still do this or whatever. No, you got to drop that. You got to drop that because I'm not going to be able to help you with your change if you're still clinging to any vestige of what you see on those TV screens in that white room. You have to completely let go of that. Now, you say, well, why are you able to tell me what you're telling me? I'm telling you because I know I don't know it. Every single thing I'm telling you, I know I don't know. Okay? Socrates said that he knew he was intelligent because he realized that he didn't know anything. This is one of the steps towards wisdom and knowing things. King Solomon said that the necessary ingredient towards wisdom, the first step, is the fear of the Lord. Now, if you don't believe in the Lord or you don't want to think about things like that, don't think of it as Lord. Think of it as your fate, your unknownness, where you're going to go. Don't think of it as the Lord, but your fear of that you're vulnerable and you can't do anything about that. Think of it like that if you don't want to think of it in a religious sense. That's the key to wisdom. And so what Socrates and what King Solomon are saying, and what Neo is even saying in the Matrix, they're all in tandem. They all link together. You have to reach towards that knowing that you know nothing and abandoning all the delusions, because you're going to unplug yourself from the Matrix. And only then can you make a choice. As long as you're in the Matrix, you can't make the choice because you're in the realm of knowing. You're in the realm of working with all the things in the physical realm. You cannot make a successful choice. You have to get out of there first. And this is what my perspective counseling teaches. The same things that Socrates, King Solomon, the Matrix, everything was showing, I put it in a practical way and try to teach you that way. But you're not there yet. So one of the things we got to do to get you out of there is to stop you going and doing what you're doing. If you need some other thing, create it. Spend some of your time. I told you on these other ones that you're saying here, I'm thinking about what you're talking about. I think I can do it. I'm contemplating it. Am I right? You're saying, that kind of thing. And I'm saying to you, yes, but it sounds to me like you really want to start right now on your own. You want to initiate it on your own. Don't do it yet. Because whatever you're doing right now, you're still in the matrix. You're going to still be doing it in the physical realm, even though you're starting to fathom some of the things I'm talking about. Don't start yet. You've got to be absolutely convinced you're out of that physical realm, and you've gotten to the point of knowing nothing. Otherwise, what I'm going to be helping you with won't work. So the first thing you have to do, and this is what I want you to put your mind towards fathoming, how can you pull yourself out of your circumstances and your environment that you're going to on a regular basis that are bringing you down and reinforcing how unhappy you are? Because what you need to find there isn't being found. What can you do within your own realm? Perhaps in your own apartment, perhaps in a location, your own house, whatever, maybe at work, whatever. Something you can do that brings you a sense of satisfaction that may not be as heightened as the one you want to have, but at least it's something that you can have temporarily to suck off of while you're going through this change process. Something that not only reminds you that you're going through the change process, but something that you can take a hit off of while you're going through it, so you're not absolutely alone. This is what I'd like you to think about until we can talk more. All right, I'll talk to you shortly.